All right, first off, I want to start off before we start talking about Georgia Southern football. Just want to talk about Young Wei Koo. Tremendous job this past week for the Atlanta Falcons and big part of their victory. Very proud of him. Very excited that we got a Georgia Southern man kicking in the NFL. So congrats to him. Moving on to talking about last week, embarrassing. We did not play a good game in all four phases that we talk about, offense, defense, special teams, and our sideline. And anytime you have anything like that, that's a direct reflection of the head football coach, and I take full ownership in that game. That's not to take anything away from Troy. I thought they did a tremendous job with their game plan. I thought they came out, played really hard, played like they wanted it. We did not play like we had a chip on our shoulder like we had been playing, and that's a direct reflection of me. And obviously we've got to make sure that we get that corrected this week. We got a tough ULM team coming in that is very high-powered offense, can put up a lot of points, and definitely is a team that we have to be very mindful of and be ready for come this Saturday.
Looking back on the video like you guys do, was there anything that stood out where you feel like were the big problems on offense and on defense, if you could address both?
I mean, we didn't establish anything on offense. We were not able to stop them on defense. There was a little bit of a, when you get into that third quarter, defense making some plays, and then us getting a drive. We missed a field goal going the start of the fourth quarter. We hit a fourth down play to score a touchdown that ended up getting us within 6 points that got us back in the game. But then the defense, we ended up letting them go right back down and score. So really there's not many positives in this game. We were not very good at any of our positions. We were out-coached. We were outplayed. And again, that's on me.
Coach, I know you talk a lot to your guys. You take a lot of what they tell you to heart and, try to always have communication open with them. Is there something or anyone you've talked to or things you've heard from the guys about what you addressed about, just whatever it is, just it not being there on the sideline, on offense, defense? Is there anything that you've gotten as feedback from the players about what the problem might have been?
We've really examined it, and I did talk with a few of the players yesterday. We had a good week last week. Practices were really good, very spirited. I think it was different than it was a year ago when we were in this situation. Our guys were not drinking the Kool-Aid. They were working hard and saying the right things. Just game day, the vibe wasn't right. And, we looked at a lot of different things from, our routine was basically the same going up into the travel. But, some of the travel stuff, we've looked at that just to see if we did something a little bit different that got us off keel. But the vibe wasn't right Saturday. And we've got to put our thinking caps on and make sure that we get that vibe back right, because we had a good week of practice and we should have finished that thing off right. I can handle losing if we go play and we play like we should be able to play. I don't, just like we love to win, we hate to lose. And, we got to find an answer to that. And because that Saturday was not indicative of what our football team has been this year. We have always went into these games with chips on our shoulders and just going and work for a victory. Didn't feel like we did that Saturday.
Coach, moving forward, what are some of the main things that you're going to have to focus on facing ULM?
Well, with ULM, again, they got a really good quarterback, and he's a dual threat guy. He can obviously throw the ball. He can extend plays with his legs. They have a very balanced offense in that they run and throw. Statistics show that very similar passing and throwing. Very experienced, have a lot of guys that have played together since they were sophomores. So we've got to be mindful of their inside zone, split zone, RPO game. We got to make sure that we're, getting our run fits right, but also being able to play their route combos and their run pass options off of those types of things. And then, defensively, when you look at them statistically, they've given up some points, they've given up some yards. So, that then needs to be a challenge to our offense that we've got to go out there and make sure we move the ball and we generate points on offense. So, going to be a tough game. And, our guys have got to understand that every week it needs to be a dogfight. We need to go into the game saying that we're going to go 60 or more minutes of a dogfight. And we did not do that last week, so we need to try to come out and do that this week.
And going off that, Coach, do you feel like there's any added pressure this Saturday, knowing that with trying to fight for bowl eligibility, knowing that this fan base doesn't want to see 2 straight losses to ULM and Troy after big wins against App State? Is there added pressure not only within the locker room, but do you think surrounding you? I know you try and keep the players from looking at the positives or negatives from the outside, but is there added pressure this weekend at all?
I think every game there's pressure. At Georgia Southern, you're expected to win every game. It doesn't matter who you're playing. When you play LSU in the first game of the season, you're expected to go compete and win that football game. So I think there's pressure every week from our fan base and, in general with Georgia Southern. But that's what makes Georgia Southern great. Our guys understand that. We talk about when they come in as freshmen and as we continue to grow as a football team, as a program, we talk about embracing those expectations and not shying away from that. But, pressure, you can look at it a couple of different ways. I mean, it's either going to bust the pipe or it's going to make a diamond. And so, our guys have, when you start off a season 1-3 and with the adversity we've dealt with, and then fight back to get yourself in contention in the Sun Belt, and then let it slip away. Well, you've been there before, so let's see if we can come and respond and make up for it.
Coach, against App State, it was obvious you guys had a game plan. You came out and you were able to win that game playing the game plan you had. Against Troy, a lot of the talk is, were they prepared? Were they prepared for what Troy was going to throw at them offensively? Were they prepared for what Troy was going to do defensively against the option? Now you've got ULM coming up. Do you feel like some of those things were fair, that people would say that, or?
Oh, the way we got beat, I mean, I would definitely say that. I mean, but again, I wouldn't put blame on any of the coaches. I wouldn't put blame on the players. It's me. I should have been a better head football coach last week. I should have got our team ready to go. We did not play Georgia Southern football on Saturday, and that's on me.
Do you feel like this week, as far as the game plan, you feel like you know what ULM is going to do? You feel like you guys are going to prepare for ULM, or is this more of a we've got to do what we've got to do for us?
Well, I think there's a little bit of both. You've always got to know what your opponent does. You always got to be aware of what they do and prepare our guys to be able to play against that. But I think it's very important that we go into this game going, let's bring the Georgia Southern football team that went and played App State to this game. There's no reason why every week we can't come out with the same fire, the same intensity that we came out in that game. And that's going to be the challenge this week is don't let the Troy game beat you twice.
Coach, did you like how the team was yesterday? Were they disappointed, angry? Did you like where they were going into another week?
It was a very quiet, solemn team room. I think probably more embarrassed than anything. I know that they feel like that they could have put a better show on and put a better performance on. I do think that they will rebound from that. I do think that because of that embarrassment, because of the way they felt after that football game, that they'll obviously go to work and try not to let that happen again.